We're at the Bicentennial Park. I actually used to work here. I worked here for about 6 months. So we do landscaping, you know, easy stuff, rake the leaves, mow the grass, clean the bathrooms, something simple. There's really not a whole lot of jobs out here. This park is neat because they dedicate a lot of things to veterans, so it's nice. I think that one's my favorite. It says, "Remember Pearl Harbor." It is similar to my story. I don't think if 9/11 would have happened, I wouldn't have felt compelled to go in a way. I think I would have done something different with my life, so everything happens for a reason, so that's why I went. So this is Mackenzie High School. I went here for 4 years. We're all pretty close because it's such a small school, so we all knew one another and partied together and kind of hung out. When I was a sophomore in high school, a teacher turned on the TV and I saw the planes hit the Twin Towers and I saw people jumping out of the buildings, and that kind of upset me a little bit, so.
She came home from school one day and she said, "Mother, I've just come from the recruiter's office in Paris and I've joined the Marine Corps." And I said, "Okay, fine." And I didn't believe her. And a few weeks later, she said, "Now, Mother, we need to clean the house up because this Marine Corps recruiter's coming over here to sign me up." I didn't clean the house, and one day the doorbell rang and humongous guy standing there. "Can I help you?" "Yes, I'm here to sign Lindsey up for the Marine Corps." And I'm thinking, oh, she wasn't lying.
I don't know, I felt like I had to serve my country in a way. I mean, I knew I wasn't ready for college, and I was thinking about the military anyway, but when that happened, I already knew my place on this earth was to do something for the country, so.
Is this the camp?
Yep.
My sweet daughter was born 10 years after my youngest child. She was kind of a surprise, but very, very welcome. Very precocious. She was into everything. Had so many friends all of her life. She's just a beautiful, beautiful person.
That's a picture of Fallujah.
I knew she was over there doing what she wanted to do, and I was extremely proud of that.
I was a 50 cal gunner for convoy security for a EOD squad, explosives ordnance team. So every time somebody would have a non-line or they found an explosive, my team would go out and with the EOD squad and blow it up.
You recording?
Yeah.
Hey Mom, Dad, this video's for you to show you what I do during the day. And a little documentary on me, just for you. Oh yeah, this is where I sleep. Not the whole time. We do EOD, which is 24 on and 24 off. So this is where I sleep when we're on standby for cool missions and stuff.
Get up! Within minutes of leaving our lines, we were hit again. For the third straight day, we're taking...
This is where I stay. This is my home. From far away from home. So this is my 50 cal weapon. You can shoot pretty big bullets, which this is what this is right now.
All right, can't zoom in pictures. You're blocking.
What? Can you sit now?
Yeah, I can see it now.
Come on this side. This is what keeps me motivated. Right here. Hey, everybody say hi to my mom. Hi, my dad. Hi. Clue in on this mother. Say hi. Hello. Okay.
I wanted to fight for my country, but I didn't think it was going to be like that. Seeing your fellow Marines in body bags and having to clean up the mess. I've seen the aftermath of explosions. It's pretty sad. And especially when you lose somebody that was a friend, that's pretty hard to deal with.
I drove out to 29 Palms to meet her, and I could see when she got off the bus the difference in her. I could just see the whole change in her face, and I knew she was scared. She wouldn't let me go, and I just knew something had happened, and the whole person I knew had changed. I just felt it.
The morning I got back from Iraq, I got out, so I kind of felt alone coming back into the civilian world. I didn't have that discipline and a time schedule like I had the Marine Corps. I mean, I worked, but I sort of drank a lot. My worst binge, I don't know, locking myself in a room with a bunch of Tylenol PM and bottles of Jack Daniels and beer, and just not leaving my room for maybe 3 days. Literally just drinking.
She got to where she wouldn't talk and she wouldn't interact with anybody. She was quiet. She wouldn't even interact with her brothers or her nephews and nieces, whom she adores, all of them, but she wouldn't interact with the family.
Well, I got this tattoo when I was in Missouri doing my training in Marine Corps. It's an M15, not an M16. And then I got this one when I was training too. And then these right here, I got in Okinawa. And this one says James Ray, and that one says Rebecca Jean. That's my mom and dad. And October 1st, 08 is when I overdosed and was in a coma for 2 days. So I got that on there as a reminder not to do that again.
She's my only daughter, and I almost lost her 2 years ago. She attempted suicide in my home, and that was the worst experience. I think worse than her being in Iraq is to sit there and watch that. And to be on a ventilator for 3 days, it was hard. It still is. I've lost my child, in a way. It's hard to see someone so lively and vivacious and precocious to turn into someone that's so quiet and inside herself, and she won't come out. It's hard. When she came back from Iraq and I saw what I saw with her platoon, we had to go back over to whatever they're called, not the dorms, but whatever they're in. And when we drove up, there lays all of their backpacks and all this, and beer and liquor lining sidewalks. And I feel like that the military should be responsible for helping these kids, because that's what they are. They're kids.
Because of the things that my generation of women in the military had to fight for, we shouldn't have to fight anymore. It should just be a given.
Well, I think that with my own experience of, floundering once I left the military and going to the VA for health care and really seeing the disparity in the levels of care, talking with other women and working with women who have had difficulties, filing VA claims for disability and things like that, it was not equitable, and there did not seem to be an emphasis on making it equitable.
To care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan. I understand where the saying came from, but in this day and age, I just don't understand how they could keep it. I mean, they can't change it because it's a quote. But I'm sure that they could come up with something that would be a little more welcoming to women.
Women have served from the Civil War, from the very beginning. Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, up to the present day. There's really no reason why we should not have the same level of care and benefits that our counterparts have. I went in the service in '74 when it was still not popular for women to serve in the military, and we were still actually segregated in the sense we were in the Women's Army Corps and not just the regular Army. So I've competed for promotions, amongst my male peers. I've had some awesome positions of responsibility. I wouldn't trade any of it for $1 million. But when I left the service, especially for the first 2 or 3 years, I was really floundering. I am a 21-year Army vet. I retired in 1995. It's kind of like, you grow up in the military, and then when you retire, you don't really quite know what you want to do. I think I'm working now with a nonprofit that serves other veterans because this is a way for me to continue to serve.
Well, this is Operation Stand Down. I came to find out about it. I was in Murfreesboro at the rehab clinic, and I've gotten a card from my counselor there, actually. So she gave me the number to Operation Stand Down. I called Miss Deborah. Miss Deborah told me to come on down.
Like so many other women who are returning from Iraq and Afghanistan, acknowledging and getting treatment for their post-traumatic stress disorder is vital. This is where everything gets started, where all the clients come in.
Operation Stand Down is registered.
So I came to this counter and filled out my packet, and I met Miss Deborah, and then she referred me to Miss Mary. So that's how I came about to know this wonderful lady. Even though we're not kin, but we really are.
We are seeing more and more women. Now, the numbers are not quite as large as their male counterparts, but for instance, last year, we probably saw about 11% increase in the number of women who were coming for services. We're not a VA facility. We are a nonprofit, so we're not, actually, confined to the rules that the VA has, which is the real blessing, because we can fill in the gaps from what the VA can provide and what we can provide.
Okay. Hey, Richards, let's take them back to the family room also, so the little girl can run around and play.
When you look at the psyche of a woman veteran versus the psyche of a male veteran, we do tend to process on a more emotional level versus a intellectual level. We actually accept the fact that we have issues quicker than men do, but we still have a lot of pride issues, and especially those that have served in the military, because we've had to deal in a male environment for so many years. and to show that we are competent and capable of performing our roles in the military. When we get out, we still have a tendency to have that toughness.
Because I can't talk about some things, and I keep it inside. I don't talk about I don't really talk about my feelings and what happened in the past. I don't think I'd be struggling with this disease if I would have chose a different career. I guess when you're under that much stress and trying to be strong and have this mindset to do your best, you kind of get stressed out. Does that make sense? You're put on a pedestal in the Marine Corps expecting to do a job, and if you don't do it, you're a failure. I had a problem, but I guess I just never addressed it like I should have. I just wanted it to be over and done with, and I never faced my problems like I should have in the Marine Corps, and I never got fixed the right way.
Well, what Lindsey has is a general discharge under less than honorable conditions. And the reason that she has the less than honorable conditions is that because she had a couple of instances where she received a DUI while she was off duty, and she also has an instance where she was picked up on a random urinalysis test for substance, an illegal substance.
I mean, I know what I did was wrong, but I honestly don't remember doing it. I don't.
That's very much part of it, is that one of the things that when you're still on active duty, you don't recognize or you don't think of the issues that you might have with PTSD. Mm-hmm. You really don't look at those until after.
Maybe, I think maybe all that drinking, and just something in my head developed where I think I needed it to kind of feel like normal again. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the case. It was just, I was just drinking so I wouldn't have to deal with everyday life.
Well, because Lindsey's recovery was in such a fragile state, we decided at Operation Stand Down that we would provide her with temporary housing, and in part to encourage her continued sobriety. It's kind of like when I look at Lindsey, I sometimes see a little bit of myself. And maybe it's because we come from the same hometown, but I remember being a very naive and very vulnerable young woman when I left McKinsey and joined the Army, and all of the things that I got into. You know, it's only by the grace of God that you know, I didn't experience the same things that Lindsey did.
So I keep my meds in this little compartment. Hydroxyzine is for my anxiety, and then I take Antabuse so I won't drink, and then I have my birth control and Gabapentin that helps with the nightmares. Like I have a peaceful night's sleep, so I take that, and then I take Geodon it's an antipsychotic, and it helps keep my chemicals in my brain level good, so I don't freak out on nobody.
In order to be considered a veteran, there are certain things that have to occur. Number one is your time in service. The other one is the character of your service. If you receive an honorable discharge, then you are eligible for any benefits that are out there for that period of time that you did serve.
What's up, hot mama?
How are you?
Good.
Good.
I was looking at some jobs and
For someone who is received in general under less than honorable, they are not considered veterans. So they are not eligible for any benefits, really.
So
you have that out. I really feel that Lindsey deserves to be considered a veteran. I mean, she has 2 tours in Iraq with the Marine Corps. She made some bad mistakes. She made some bad decisions. I believe that her DUIs, her substance abuse, are related actually to her PTSD that she received while she was serving in Iraq.
And my situation, when you apply for the job, it always asks if you're a veteran, and it lists your discharge. So usually if you don't have an honorable, they think you're just this big mess up and you can't do the job, so they usually don't hire you. So I tend to go for the jobs that don't ask that.
With encouragement and support, Lindsey has decided to fight her dishonorable discharge in court to receive the benefits that she deserves, such as her health care and her financial assistance for school.
I emailed Jay this morning.
Okay.
And told him that you have decided that you're ready to do this.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I want to fight for it because I think I deserve to get to go to school after going, you know, to Iraq twice. You know, I don't care about money. I don't care about, you know, getting drawn disability. I don't care about that. I would just like to have a little money for go to nursing school. And, you know, it's not that much, but I mean, everybody asks me, once a Marine, always a Marine, and I'm like, you know what, that's not true for me.
We were able to get Lindsey into a 7-week program in Ohio that specializes in treating women veterans with PTSD.
I went to Cincinnati for 7 weeks, and that freaking helped me. I literally had to sit down and write my traumas, and I had to read them over and over again. I burned it. It felt good to do it, because now that I'm sober, I kind of have peace with myself. It's my birthday.
It's birthday.
It's my birthday. What do you need me to do? Read directions?
Yeah, read the directions. We got the butter and sugar part.
Oh boy.
Since I've known Lindsey, there actually has been progress.
Mix cocoa and food coloring together.
She's more outgoing. She's more open with us now than she was initially. Now, give me a couple of them. We can't do that. This is the South.
That's funny. We don't follow our recipes. We just throw shit in there.
There's still a lot, I think, that she needs to do, even though she's gone through the PTSD program that she went through at the VA in Cincinnati.
Or what?
And she came back more open and a little happier, I think.
I've never had a party decorated for me before.
No.
Not that I can remember.
So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Lindsey. What time is your court date?
It's at 8:30.
And these days, when I see Lindsey, it's as if I'm seeing a different woman. She is stronger, she's more determined. We have helped her enroll in nursing school, and her legal case is moving forward.
You are so good for my ego.
Hot mama.
Hot mama.
Okay, I'm hot.
You are hot.
Literally, I'm hot.
I know.
Sweating.
It's all right.
That's cool.
It'll be good. It's all good.
Yeah. I'm gonna start living my life the way it should be lived. With a sober attitude, living it to the fullest. I have to, because if I don't, I'm gonna die.